hosts, guests, and callers, and not necessarily those of this station, its staff, management, or sponsors. Welcome to Trento Vision, where bad ideas get pulverized and the truth will set you free. Trento Vision is hosted by Tom Trento. Tom can be reached at 561-319-5533 or Tom at trentovision.tv. Listen and watch every weekday from 3 to 6 p.m. on AM 1470 WNN and trentovision.tv. Now, let's get a peek at Tom's view of the world. Here's Tom Trento.
Oh, my word. 100. The number for today is 100. The number for today, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, I'm not supposed to say ladies and gentlemen.
Friends.
The number for today, folks, people.
I hate folks.
The number for today is 100. Does anybody anywhere have any idea what I'm talking about?
100 bottles of beer on the wall?
Up there.
No, but
No?
that's not a bad answer. The number's 100.
You can go do it, Mike.
Anybody have any idea? How about those of you driving in your automobiles on I-95 on this beautiful second day of November, 76 degrees with no humidity here in South Florida, Palm Beach County, Boca Raton on WNN 1470. You're with Tom Trento on trentovision.tv if you want to watch this circus today, because it is going to be a bit chaotic and involved as we bring a lot of loose ends together after a very hectic week, launching into a critical civilization deciding week ahead of us. 100. Anybody have any idea what 100 means? We have some guests with us today. Guest in the pink shirt. Without identifying yourself, you have any idea? Nod your head. No. Guest wearing many hats. Do you have any idea? Don't speak yet, because we're going to introduce you later. You have any idea what 100 is? If anybody out there driving, you do. Is that a yes? What is it?
No, I was just good for nodding.
Oh, okay. You were good for nodding. We have a comedian with us today. Hi, ladies and folks and kids and everybody. We're on WNN 1470, broadcasting out of Boca Raton. And as you know, our signal, if you're driving, you can hang with us if you're going from North Miami all the way to Kissimmee. Kissimmee? Kissimmee. If you're going all the way up there, the WNN 50,000 horsepower signal travels there, goes out to the ocean, and we have some fish that actually listen to us, and into the Everglades where the anaconda and the boa constrictors and all of those things also listen, or worldwide, trentovision.tv, or you got to get that application, iHeartRadio. It's a very cool little application. You download it on your smartphone, and you have digital sound for this show and all the WNN shows, Health and Wealth Radio. We have neither here. We have neither health nor wealth, but we do bring you National Security Issues 100. Does anybody know what that means? We do bring you insight, investigative information on national security issues. That's our area of specialty. And our express purpose, we make no bones about it. We're not fair and balanced. We're an advocacy group of individual national security experts, and we believe that this president has failed miserably as the commander-in-chief. He's failed on the economy. He's failed on all types of various components and elements that a chief executive officer necessarily has to master to lead 330 million, the strongest country used to be. We're no longer a superpower because of these past 4 years. But our area of specialty, CIC, Commander-in-Chief, he has failed miserably, illustrated by Geraldo Rivera this morning blowing a gasket in his crazy head on Fox and Friends. Anybody see that?
No.
He got in a big argument with Steve Doocy and Gretchen and Eric Bowles, who was there, over Benghazi. I mean, he he being Geraldo Rivera went absolutely insane. The president did the right thing. The State Department did the right thing. The military, all you people, you just want to make this a political issue. Benghazi, he's talking about. Nothing was done wrong. Never could we have rescued them. This is the way it is. You people, he's screaming and yelling. He
blew a gasket. Yeah, he
He
really
must
blew
know
it.
that he's fixing to get fired or something, and he's looking to get hired on MSNBC or something, the way he's acting lately.
He actually apologized at the end. He goes, folks, I'm really sorry. But and Eric Bowles was very upset. I mean, we got to find that video and play it. 100. Anybody know what 100 is? If you're driving in your automobile, we'll take calls today, by the way. If you want to speak to myself or one of our guests, 888-565-1470. 888, that means it's free. 565 is pretty simple. 1470 are the call letters of the station. So we will take calls, and we'll take them from regular people and even crazy people today, okay? So you crazy people, and I'd like...
And you know who you are.
And you know who you are. I'd like to go through the show for 3 hours. We are with you from 3 to 6. We used to be here only 2 to 3, but we've changed that. Now it's 3 to 6, drive time. And I'd like to know both sides. One reason why you think everyone should vote for President Obama, and I'd like to hear one reason why you think everyone should not vote for President Obama. So if you want to weigh in on that, give us a call, 888-565-1470. Come on, man, I'm beating this 100 to death.
Yes.
All right, I'll let
Stop.
everybody know. 100, right from now, 100 hours from right now, it's over, folks. 100 hours from this minute, right now, we will know who the President of the United States is. We will know that, because California doesn't count, okay? So 100 hours from now will be about 7 o'clock, a little bit after 7 o'clock, on the East Coast, and that's where this race is going to be won. Several key states, in fact, as we say, Florida is always the key state. But you know what? Florida's in the can. We told you this on October 3rd when... What happened on October 3rd? Anybody remember? Our
first debate.
Yes, it was the first debate. Where did it take place? We'll have a quiz.
Oh, where was it?
Brilliant crew here.
Was it Hofstra?
No. Anybody remember the first debate?
That was the second
I'll give you a
one?
hint.
No.
I'll give you a hint.
The second one was in Denver, right? The first one was in New York?
Denver. We got Denver.
Oh, it was Denver.
Yes, it was
wasn't
Denver.
Oh, that's right, because it was
University
the
of Denver.
elevation.
Yes,
That's
it was
right.
too high at 5,000
The ear
feet.
was too
you know.
thin. Yeah, okay.
Or his ear thing, his earplug wasn't working.
Yeah.
The first debate, we declared the next day, October 3rd, a win for Mitt Romney. And for the record, folks, Mitt Romney was not the first choice of many of us here through the nomination process. But through the process and over the months, we have all come to see that he's more than competent, particularly on the economic stuff. We have concerns, legitimate concerns that have been alleviated by a staff that he's put around him regarding national security issues. So if you follow Trento Vision, Tom Trento, the United West, we are very nonpartisan in the necessity of each party. What are you laughing at?
Nothing.
Of the necessity of each party
Nonpartisan.
rising to the level of properly leading the country on sound national security policies. We've critiqued George Bush's second 4 years. His first 4 years were sound. His second 4 years, he capitulated to the infiltration of the Muslim Brotherhood into his administration and started renaming Islam and Sharia-compliant Islam and coming up with all these things that were absolutely coming from the Brotherhood's play manual. So he dropped the ball pretty seriously in his second 4 years, and we hold him accountable for that. And he did it philosophically. He understood there's an enemy, we need to name it and all of that. But he dropped the ball on an operational level. Conversely, when Obama came in, We knew philosophically and operationally this thing was going south. And if anybody is objective about the position we now hold in the world vis-a-vis the primary enemy, Russia's an enemy in many respects, as is China. We're in a cold situation there. In a hot situation with Islamic Jihad, we are viewed as a defeated, weak horse that simply needs to be put to our misery. Why do you think the Islamic leaders of Muslim countries want President Obama reelected? Because he's so strong and tough with them. They can control him, direct him because of his predisposition to Islam, having been raised in an Islamic world, and his capitulation in office to Islamic principles. So because of that, we say this guy has to go. And Mitt Romney has surrounded himself with people like Waleed Faris, my former professor from Florida Atlantic University, national security expert. 407 generals and lieutenants and former officers of the military have put together a working group to advise and support Mitt Romney. 400. Oh, what was that? Something came flying by me. Oh, the older guy has to go to the bathroom, I bet you. And you need to listen to some of these commercials here. We have a visitor.
Okay, he's gone. Let's talk about him now.
We have a visitor here that we're going to introduce in a second. But what we typically do, ladies and gentlemen, is go through some very serious national security issues on Monday. If you were with us, if you weren't, I'll briefly go through it. We dealt with a critical movie entitled Losing Our Sons, where Charles Jacobs got together Darius Long and Melvin Bledsoe. Melvin Bledsoe's son, Carlos, shot and killed Darius Long's son, Andy Long. Andy was in the United States Army you've seen this, I'm sure, in Little Rock, Arkansas, June 1st, 2009, when the jihadi, the convert from Christianity to Islam, Carlos Bledsoe, Mohammed Malik, when he drove by, put his gun out the window and shot him, killed him because he was in uniform.
Oh, that was a drive-by shooting, Tom. That wasn't a terrorist attack. That was a drive-by shooting. You stand corrected. Just letting you know.
The DOJ, the Department of Justice, has classified that attack as a drive-by shooting, notwithstanding the fact that the convicted murderer has declared it to be an act of jihad for Islam and for Allah. But the DOJ says, no, it was a drive-by shooting. Then we moved to Fort Hood, where Major Nadal Hassan, 20 years psychiatrist in the Army, stood up on a table on November 5th, 2009, 6 months or so after the Little Rock incident, yelling Allahu Akbar, pulled out his FN-57 long magazine handgun, shot 43 people, killed 13, went up to a woman in uniform who was pregnant, shot her again in the belly, killed her unborn baby as she was screaming out, "My baby, my baby." So he really killed 14 human beings and then wounded 30 others.
That was workplace violence there, Tom.
Yeah,
workplace violence, nothing to do with Islam.
The situation there is that the DOJ and the Department of Defense both have classified this as a workplace violence act, not an act of jihad. When Major Nadal Hassan was screaming Allahu Akbar, and in his pocket was a business card that had Soldier of Allah on his business card. So the world is upside down, and by just brief review, we went through some of that on Monday. We also moved into Benghazi on Monday because we believe that's illustrative of the failures, not just of this president, but when you're the president, you have a selected core of people around you, and they like their jobs, they like the lust for power, the position of power in Washington D.C.
Okay, he's back.
And they you got to crawl underneath the camera. Okay, do your army crawl. There he goes. He's our comic relief.
Literally.
We're going to introduce in a second here. So we went into Benghazi deeply on day 2, Tuesday. We brought Frank Gaffney on, and a good friend of ours with Claire Lopez and others.
Well, that was clearly about the video. Benghazi had nothing to do with anything to do with Islam. It was the video, Tom, that caused that.
That's the. By the way,
it was a spontaneous protest.
The spontaneous protest on a video.
We're
We all know
by
the
people
truth.
who hijacked the religion
You're
of
just
peace.
a hater, H-8-T-E-R. We all know, where you stand, Tom.
We're going to bring the camera back in a second to introduce CJ and our distinguished guest, but the disembodied voice, Mark, is
God.
Is
It's
where
God.
it is.
God.
So, and then Wednesday we launched a pretty intense study into the Muslim Brotherhood because, now why? Again, our goal is to provide information to persuade you to not vote for President Obama simply because, the future of Western civilization is at stake, the state of Israel is at stake, and the United States is at stake. Those are a couple of little reasons why you cannot vote for him, particularly if you happen to be a Jewish person, a Christian, or a person who has been in the military. He's failed in those three areas. We introduced the Brotherhood on Wednesday, and we got through 5 of 99 slides. Why the Brotherhood?
That's true, we did.
Because the global jihad.
99 bottles of beer on the wall.
I know, it was like 99 bottles of beer it was.
The global jihad that is in effect right now is orchestrated by the Brotherhood, both those who are involved in active shooting and those in the Brotherhood who are implementing the cultural jihad worldwide. The Brotherhood has never been in such a strategic position to establish a worldwide caliphate within the next 5 or 10 years as they are right now, ever since their beginning in 1928. That's how wonderful the world has been made by President Obama. So we launched a study into the Brotherhood on Wednesday. And why? Because on November 7th, after Mitt Romney accepts the win from President Obama, the Brotherhood is still going to be very, very active. And they're going to try to infiltrate his administration too. And we will still be here revealing who these people are, why they need to be locked up, why they're terrorists, and we'll do some of that even today. We're going to show you how they got involved in Florida elections, the Muslim Brotherhood.
Does the Brotherhood actually officially exist now? Because I remember when we started doing this, it didn't officially exist. It was like the Bilderberger Group or the Illuminati or something like that. But they officially exist now because everybody recognizes them?
It's very funny how that has occurred, for sure. So then on Thursday, which was yesterday, we switched to the effect of Islamic jihad on a human being, and we had Karen Vaughn in studio, and her husband Billy was on the phone. This is all by way of review, ladies and gentlemen. So you see where we're going this week. We'll tie it together with some activist elements today, and then we're gonna give you a call to action for the next 100 hours. Okay, no sleeping for the next 100 hours. We had Karen Vaughn in here, and sadly, on August 6th, 2011, just a little over a year ago, she was notified. Some of her family members actually heard it on TV before they were notified, that a helicopter was shot down over the Wardunk province, the Tangi River Valley in Afghanistan, and there were 38 men on board and 1 combat dog. 22 of the men were related to SEAL Team 6, 17 actual SEAL Team 6 operators, and then 5 support personnel, and then a group of Afghan National Army special operators. Shot down by the Taliban, 3 RPGs fired, a golden BB basically, where one of them hit the aft blade of the Huey, the big flying bus, and they were 30 seconds from landing, 100 feet off the ground, flying at about 50 miles an hour. And the largest loss of life ever in Special Navy warfare since the SEALs started back in 1963. So Karen was in here and gave a personal face to Islamic jihad, as did on Monday the 2 fathers did. So that's our area, and this issue is not going away. But today we got to win an election. Okay?
I just want to bring up one other thing about that, Karen Vaughn. I thought the most compelling part of it was President Obama's response to them, and which was he sent. What did he do, Tom?
Oh, go ahead.
He came in and he sent them a form letter, which was auto-signed, and he got this, and all the other members of the SEAL team got the same exact auto-pen letter sent to them. I mean, the largest loss of Navy SEAL life ever, and he doesn't even
couldn't take the time
take the time to actually
to have his staff say, "Give me something about Aaron Vaughn.
Yeah,
give me some stuff. Sketch out a letter for me. Let me edit it. Take 5 minutes. But no, I got to go play golf. 100 rounds of golf.
104.
104 rounds of golf. Somebody calculated 10 weeks. He says, I'm working for you. 10 weeks just playing golf alone. When you fire up that airplane, how many assistants does Michelle have? How can you Democrats, truly, how can good conscience... I think she
has 31 or 33, something like that.
How can you believe that these folks are for the 99 percenters, whatever the hell that means? How can you believe these are Hollywood, Bill Clinton, secret guest here. We were going to commission you to do a drawing where Clinton is saying to Obama, well, bro, it looks like you're going to be my wingman here. Romney's going to win, and come and hang with me. I think that's what's going to happen. I think he idolizes the life of Bill Clinton, where you have all the splendor of being a former president. None of the response. Doesn't have to read the intelligence reports. Doesn't have to get in the nuts and bolts.
He doesn't do that now.
Doesn't have to get a budget. Doesn't have to do any. But I tell you what, they're getting divorced. If he loses this thing, anybody who's married, if your wife has 37 AIDS and you lose that golden goose of 37 AIDS to your wife, you're out of there, dude. You are out of there. So we're going to have to say goodbye to this president for sure. But in good conscience, how could you vote for someone that rolls his sleeves up? Goodbye. How could you vote for someone who rolls his sleeves up and says, I'm working for you, and lives a life of luxurious splendor, and he's always going to. He's a multi-millionaire, and per percentage, Romney, who has given millions of dollars percentage, much more than Obama ever gave away, donated. Well, he's got more money. No, it's an act of your heart how much you give to other people. So anyway, today we're going to go all over the place. We have some interesting guests. We're going to open the phones up, 888-565-1470. Mike, why don't you pull back, or whoever's working the camera.
Oh, we do have the Geraldo clip if you want it.
The who?
Geraldo.
Oh, you found it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right, let's take a look at that. Let me set this up for you folks at home. I'm watching the Fox thing this morning, and I go back and forth, Fox and whatever, and CNN, and Geraldo, I saw him, and it was interesting. What does that mean? Okay, well, tell her to hang on. We'll be right there. Hang on, Ruth, if you can hear me. We have a report from one of our great people, Ruth. We all saw Geraldo at the RNC, Republican National Convention, and we were up there talking to him and all of that. He's a nice guy that way, but everybody wanted to punch him out, because
I was 2 feet from, and it's like, oh no, I'll get kicked out.
You can't. So when you see him on TV talking, you never know if he's going to come down on the right side of the issue or go off into space. He not only space, he went to Jupiter. He went to Uranus today. Are we going to play it on here?
As slimy as you think he looks on TV, he looks even worse in person, by the way.
Yeah, he really does. But in any event, this was this morning. The conversation was Benghazi. Son Ghazi warriors. Son of warriors. Benghazi, those of you following us know what this is all about. Benghazi is the holy city of warriors historically. And the Benghazi area provided more jihadis to kill American soldiers in Iraq per capita than any place on the face of the earth. This is an extremely dangerous place. And when Gaddafi got overthrown, which all of my friends were opposed to, because Gaddafi was the jailer keeping the jihadis suppressed. When he got overthrown, 20,000 man pads, man, P-A-D-S, Man Portable Air Device Systems rocket-fired, shoulder-held missiles disappeared. So we sent our CIA folks in. 2 of them were killed, Glenn Doherty and Tyrone Woods, to go find those things. They went with millions and millions of dollars to buy them back, do whatever they have to find them. They're making their way to Turkey, to Syria. And Benghazi is huge. Listen to Geraldo get in a near fist fight with the Fox and Friends people.
No one knows. Thinks that. No one knows.
7 hours.
So Washington, the State Department, the CIA does nothing, sends no help. They have it.
That is an obscene lie. That is an absolute misrepresentation. You are a politician looking to make a political point.
Absolutely wrong.
What force would have been sent?
Where was the help?
The United States.
We had assets.
The United States military is not a fire department. They're not a SWAT team.
They're
not sitting around with their backpacks on, waiting to respond.
True or not? There were assets in Tripoli that could have helped.
The assets from Tripoli were sent to Benghazi.
Where were they?
Who do you think arrived at the annex to take those people to the airport? That's not true. You are misleading the American people because you want to make a political
in the area. We had drones that could have been there. We have
never in the history of this republic mounted a raid on the circumstance described here ever. We have never done it. The Israelis, when they rescued their people in Entebbe, it took them 7 days to mount that operation. This was 7 hours.
So they knew.
And when you pretend, let me say something. I want to say something
Why
else.
did they blame a video 2 weeks later after you went?
I want to say something else. When I heard, and I interviewed this father of Tyrone Woods, when I heard Charles Woods call the President of the United States a murderer and a liar, it broke my heart. How many parents of GIs lost in conflicts that were screwed up have said of the President of the United States that he murdered my child? I love Charles Woods. I kissed him on television. But he is being led down the primrose path by misinformation that is making it look as if the President of the United States went gambling in Las Vegas when he could have been saving our people in Benghazi, and that's a lie.
That's exactly what he did,
That's
Geraldo.
exactly what happened. Hey, we're at the bottom of the hour. Tom Trento on TrentoVision.tv and WNN 1470. Let's see what Curtis has to say about all that. Curtis, you on the air? Yes, he's there. Hi, Curtis.
Great show. I'm a first-time listener, of course, first-time caller. I really, any Democrats or Obama fans that would be listening to this show like they do many other of the talk radio shows and not getting a real clear idea of how unbiased you are and what great information you're putting out has got to just not have a single cell brain functioning correctly. But to talk to those people who might be listening, I couldn't say anything to add or anything better than what you said. The only thing I thought of was how I guess it was maybe in the beginning of his administration, Obama said, he jumped to the conclusion that these police were racial profiling when they arrested a professor who, cussed them out because they came to protect his house. But then, he says he doesn't have enough information. 5 days later, an ambassador is murdered. I mean, it's just absolutely ridiculous. I would like to know where this information, a lot of the things that you have archived or taped or videoed or articles or whatever, where we could get it online, what the website is, and I'm going to hang up and get that information.
Okay, Curtis, you're our new best friend, by the way. We thank you for your kind statements about our work. Usually people are yelling and screaming at us and all of that. But and then we have a reality check. We open the book Sharia, The Threat to America, and we look at the other 18 authors that I'm honored to be 19. And I look at people with 400 years of national security experience, all thinking like you're hearing on this show. And we go, right? You know what? We're going the right direction. You can go to TrentoVision.tv. Everything is archived there, all of our shows, and just go through them. They're titled, and there's some wild stuff there, Curtis. Thank you very much for calling.
And also, if you click on the donate button and you make a donation to the show, we will send you a free bumper sticker.
And if you're a trust fund baby that doesn't know what to do to save America, come and talk to us, okay? Well, you can help us out. Thanks. Have a great day, Curtis. Okay, let's get some thoughts on Geraldo. Then we'll bring in Ruth.
Well, do you want to hear some of this Las Vegas?
No, Geraldo. What are you guys thinking about?
Well, they're talking about Benghazi.
Let's introduce this guy here. Is he on camera yet? You know CJ, everybody. She's over there. Cheryl Joy CJ. But what
Candy
the heck?
Joe.
Candy Joe? That's her dancing.
How many hats do you have on your head, there, buddy?
I never counted.
But what's going on? Could you tell us?
Well, I try to blend in. I try to blend in, and I never know which me, so I put several hats on.
Okay. Well, let's go through each one. The top one is show it to the camera there.
I get it.
That's an Allen West hat. What are you doing with that?
He my man.
Okay. What's the next one?
I don't
You
know.
were on a commercial with Alan West. You were on one of the commercials with Alan West, were you not?
Oh, yes, he was. Let's find that.
That's
Let's find.
Let's play that.
We got to find that commercial.
You got that one?
I don't see it. We doing commercials here? Let me see. Point it to me.
Thank you.
What else do we have?
For the radio audience,
Polysyllabic words I have trouble with.
our resident artist, Mortzart, we'll just go by that name, Mortzart, wears many hats, and he actually brought 4 of them on his head today.
He's Navy hat here.
Oh, Navy. He's a veteran of the U.S. Navy. And the last and final hat is Tea Party. Tea Party, Fort Lauderdale. Okay,
I keep this hat on so that the shine from my bald pate doesn't ruin the camera angle. By the way, Tom, if I may, please, in full disclosure, when I left a little while ago and you made a snide remark about
Who, me?
where I was going.
Okay.
Actually, I was calling my broker after 3 minutes of this show. I said, sell.
Okay, a wise trader.
Wise move, wise
Put
trade.
that back up. What we're going to do during the show, we are honored to have our resident artist with us, Mortzart, and we're gonna show you some of his writings. Some are a little biting, folks. We have to here we have a picture of. You describe it. Can you see it? Tell us what inspired that.
No,
Yeah.
what is it?
It's the King one.
Which?
We have to destroy America in order to see how to rebuild
that?
it. You have to talk into the mic.
Right. I have to think before I talk into the mic. I'm paraphrasing Nancy Pelosi there and putting her words in his mouth, which is pretty disgusting.
What's it say?
Well, it says we have to destroy America in order to see how to rebuild it, and that seems to be Obama's
Healthcare plan.
first. Yeah, his first order of business is to destroy everything, and it's also his second order of business.
Yeah, for the audience, Mort is an accomplished artist and prolific. I mean, every day these political cartoons are coming out, and we're gonna roll through some of them as he's on the show.
And he's going to create one during the show for us. But by the end of the show, he'll have another cartoon for us.
That would be pretty cool. How about that?
I can't wait to see that.
Yeah.
No pressure, honey.
I don't take pressure well.
And Mort is, as I said, he's a veteran of the United States Navy. And when Alan West made a commercial regarding veterans, he selected you as one of these stars.
Yes, he did.
Tell us about that.
Well, I was seeing stars. I think I was selected because, as is the case in so many occasions, I'm the oldest in the room, and it's like in Japan. There's a deference to antiquity. The drawing that we have in front of us now, Mission Accomplished, is again, it's a takeoff on George Bush landing on the carrier, but I put this in, brought it up to current context where Obama has taken credit for everything under the sun, including the sun itself. So I said, mission accomplished.
Okay, you got that there.
So Alan West just chose you just because you're an old person. That's it. That's the only reason.
No, he owes me money, and
Hey, say more, a little loan, we'll take care of it. I'll put you in the movies.
Yeah.
What happens is that he'd listened to my wife, and he thinks I have a hell of a lot more than I do.
Have you become a celebrity in your little crew you hang around with, or what's the deal?
Well, a number of people have said they saw me on this thing. You're a TV star now and all that. But I just want to assure those people and this audience that I'm the same gentle, soft-spoken, nice fellow I've always been. My pricing structure hasn't changed. My autographs are still 10 cents a dozen. So
everything's
eventually
the same.
Yeah.
Well, let me tell you how I was shocked. I was sitting in my room, and we have an older TV, but it's big. It's a 65-inch TV. And I see this commercial come on, and I thought, because you're not the tallest guy in the world.
I'm 65 inches tall. Like this.
I thought you were walking by my window. It looked like you were in my living room, like full size, right? I go, what's Mort doing in my living room? But you were on the screen. But it was a life-size picture of you, you know? So
it was frightening.
It was. All right, look at that one. And then are we ready for our report from Ruthie, CJ?
Yes.
Okay. Well, you need that mic, too. Why don't you lead into what Ruthie's all about, and we'll go from there.
Okay. We have Ruth Roman holding on the line, and Ruth Roman is also known as Lipstick Pundit.
Yes.
And she also writes for WatchdogWire.com. And Ruth has been covering a lot of aspects of the elections for us and for herself, and also participating in polling. And Ruth attended a very interesting school board meeting in Broward County last night when CARE petitioned the school board to designate 2 Muslim holidays. Now, the Broward County school system doesn't actually recognize any holidays at all, and Muslim students represent less than 1% of the students in the Broward County school system. And yet they want to have special designation for 2 holidays. So, Ruth, can you say hi and let us know what happened at the school board last night?
Well, it was very exciting, and it was a long, drawn-out meeting. It was supposed to end around 8:30 and went to 9:30. The first aspect of it was just a normal agenda they had to address. It's very interesting because when I first arrived, there was a man at the door, and he had a little Muslim cap on, but he's dressed in a suit very, very nicely. And there's a little woman, and she said, "I'm trying to get in, but I can't." And I said, "What do you mean you can't get in?" And she said, "Well, he told me I can't get in. He won't let me in the room." And it was 6:15, and the meeting started at 6:30. And I knew it was going to be crowded, and we had to get seats. So I said, "No, let's go." And so he gave me this look. And I said hello, and I was very friendly to him, and we walked in, and people were sitting down. So for some reason, it appeared that he didn't want us to come in. So that was very interesting itself. And then we had a moment of silence, and we had the Pledge of Allegiance, and I looked around the room to see if anybody was pledging. And I noticed a number of Muslims who were not pledging. They didn't have their hands up.
Oh, you're kidding me.
And they weren't saying the Pledge of Allegiance. And I knew that was probably going to happen. That's why I looked around the room to see how many people were pledging. And so that was kind of enlightening in itself. But the interesting thing is a board member, this is the diversity board of the school board.
The diversity committee?
The diversity committee, right.
Mm-hmm.
He mentioned that they were notified of this Muslim holiday event, putting this in the calendar. They were notified the night before at 10:30 at night. So it was very short notice, and they had to scramble to put this on the agenda. And he didn't like the fact that it was a pre-election weekend, and there's very short notice. And there were other more important matters that we really needed to discuss because this is the last meeting of the year. And new board members are going to be elected in the upcoming election, and he wondered, why are we dealing with this now?
Okay.
And
especially because it's right after the Eid holiday anyway. So the next holiday doesn't come up for a few months anyway, right?
Right. So it appears that they didn't really expect a lot of people to show up. They threw it at the board at the last minute, the committee at the last minute. They didn't really think anybody would find out about it. That's my assumption.
Right, because they probably figured that everybody who would oppose them would be so busy with the political campaign for Romney that they wouldn't have time to come. But we mobilized, you guys mobilized, what, 30, 40 people to hit the school board in less than 24 hours?
The Tea Party was mobilized, and I guess it was announced on the radio, so there were other citizens there that were very concerned. So there was a really full house, and people did speak up, and I think the committee was very shocked. They didn't expect this to happen.
Yeah, they didn't expect to get caught in the act of submitting.
Yeah, they
Right.
slide in there.
Yeah, they figured they'd just sneak it through, and then they would wait until next session
I'm sending you
for
a video
anybody to
on
find
this.
out what
Can you
happened.
put this up?
Everybody's by surprise, I think.
So how did it end up? How did this meeting wrap up?
Oh,
Were
yeah,
were
very-
were the Muslims successful?
No. What
Just
happened
citizen.
was I guess the committee never realized there would be this much opposition in the community.
Right.
So many board members spoke their opinions, and one woman actually began crying. And she talked about this is such discrimination, and it was really getting over the top. And it was very heated and very emotional. But in the end, they decided to postpone this. And the diversity committee was going to meet with the calendar committee and review the purpose of this and if it's really necessary to have Muslim holidays from the calendar. So they're going to review everything very thoroughly. But my contention is the fight's still not over because we still have to worry about them indiscreetly putting this back on the agenda.
Right, right. And do you think that their real goal is to get 2 Muslim holidays or any Muslim holidays, or do you think their real goal is to get some other concession that they can compromise for, like, oh, you know what, if you're not going to give us the holidays, we'll settle for halal offerings in the cafeterias, or
Right.
maybe
Well,
we could
all-
have Islam Day in the school system and teach all the kids how we pray, or something like that that really gets their foot in the door. Instead of something that's so completely outrageous that how
Right.
could they possibly do it?
We have to look at Europe, we have to look at Canada, and that has set a precedent. And this is what they've done there. First, it's a little bit, and they grab more. And then there's halal food in the
Exactly.
cafeteria.
Yeah.
And then there are foot baths. And then there's special gym provisions made because the girls
Right.
and boys can't be in gym together.
Right.
So it's very creeping.
Yeah. Creeping Sharia.
Right,
Right.
right.
Hey, Ruth, this is Tom. How are you doing?
Good.
Good. You're doing some great stuff.
Thank you.
We have a video that is in the 7 News, Channel 7 News down in Miami. It is, let's see how long it is. You guys are sitting around like a U-shaped table, huh? It's a 2-minute video. I think we're going to try to get it up, and we'll play it and let you comment on it. This is a big issue. And I'm going to read from the article a little bit because they spun it not really in the positive direction.
Really?
But for those people
Really?
tuning
No.
in right now at 15 minutes to the top of the hour, this is Tom Trento, TrentoVision.tv. You're here with CJ, with Mozart on the air. Is Mozart on the air?
We need to
Are we
have
on the air
some
right now?
special Mozart music to play when we say your name.
But it's Mozart, though, not Mozart. It's
I
Mozart.
know, but it sounds so similar.
Okay. And we have another guest in the audience to be unnamed, and we have the disembodied voice, Mark, and we got the guy unnamed also on the camera. Here it is at 15 minutes at the top of the hour. We're on for 3 hours today, ladies and gentlemen, from 3 to 6 every day now. And
never end.
today, what?
Will this madness never end?
No, it never ends. Today we're going to deal with activism issues. Next hour we have a local activist coming in, a Christian activist who's very politically involved. Yes, you can be a Christian and be involved in politics. Is Jack coming in?
Yeah, I think Jack's going to come in as well.
At 4 o'clock?
Yeah.
We have
But
Jack
we're gonna have
Funari.
Danita. Oh, no.
Not that Jack.
No,
Another
not
Jack?
that Jack. A different Jack.
Who's the other Jack?
A different Jack.
Jack. Oh, that's right. Another Jack's coming
Yeah.
in. We got all kinds of people. CJ produces the show, so I don't quite know who everybody who's coming in all the time. 5 o'clock. What are we doing on the 5 o'clock hour?
We have Alan Bergstein.
Oh, no.
Alan
and
Bergstein in the
Mort?
house. Yeah, I wanted these two together.
Alan and Mort in
Yeah.
one place? Mort
Yeah.
was the
Partners
other guy.
in crime.
He was the other
Partners
guy.
in crime.
He was the other guy in your commercial. You two veterans.
Oh, yes, he was. There were 2
You guys
commercials that used us at the end, and those were the fellows from the Italian American Heritage Society who were veterans also. There were 4 of us actually,
Wow.
but they in the one commercial, there was just Alan Bergstein.
We need to find that. Let's find that commercial too, because we'll play that during. Where is that? And, you probably know where it is on every website on the face of the earth.
No, I don't. I don't really. And by the way, I'm changing my name to Jack also. I don't want to feel left out.
Well, there's Johns and Jacks, and we got all kinds of things going on. But we're here, WNN 1470, and Activism Friday. Last week was Stormy Friday. Remember, Sandy hit. And our hearts and prayers go for all the folks in the Northeast.
Especially if they're in Staten Island, where their power has been redistributed by the mayor to Manhattan.
And, of course, we have Mr. President. He decided to do the mamas and the papas and leave on a jet plane again.
Leaving on a jet plane. Yeah, it's very interesting. And where I used to live, got devastated. I'm from New Jersey, and so we're staying in touch with people there. It is interesting. George Bush, couldn't do anything right and was castigated for Katrina, and now this president is getting such a pass in the media.
Oh yeah, he's done such a great. Even though the people are diving in dumpsters for food, and the gas station lines are 3 miles long, and 80% of the gas stations are out of gas. And but he did get the polling centers in there, emergency polling centers where we're taken into the state.
And in all fairness, when there's a disaster of this magnitude,
there's only so much you can do.
There's only so much a president can do.
Well, that's a bunch of nonsense, Tom. They had people that were shipping in goods and supplies the week before to this area just in case.
Right.
And yet the federal government and President Obama, he didn't have enough time to think about stuff like that or get FEMA enacted. He doesn't get a pass on this. No, he does not get a pass.
What do they do? Hijack the shipments and then decide when to dole them out and which neighborhoods to dole them out to?
Yeah, I know, but they could have had relief centers set up. They could have had this whole thing all done correctly, pre-planned. Well, he can't pre-plan anything, so.
Yeah, but the state has a role in all of this too. So the state governments.
No, I'm not giving him a pass on this. I don't. No.
I mean, the governors
zero pass.
The governors have to say, "Hey, FEMA, come on, let's go."
Yeah. No, I tell you, if Bush gets blamed for Katrina,
that was improper. My argument is that was improper. There's only so much a president can do. But
I hear the same thing over and over. You just said that the state has a role in this, and earlier you talked about Obama rolling up his sleeves. And I believe what's happening is that Obama is rolling up America.
Good point.
Good point. Rolling up America. Is Ruth still with us?
We have the video queued up if you're ready.
All right, listen. We're gonna try to play this video. We haven't screened this video yet. But,
we haven't screened it, but we're going to try to play it.
On the fly, Duct Tape Productions.
Yeah, here we go. This is for the new viewers and listeners. This is last night.
Religion 101, the subject last night at the Broward School headquarters. A heated debate over whether schools should close for Muslim holy days as they do for some Jewish and Christian holidays. 7's Adriana Hopkins is live in Broward with more on the meeting. Adriana?
Well, this was a diversity committee meeting that happened last night, and this debate extended that meeting by about an hour. It got pretty heated, and we're only talking about 2 additional days off for Broward County students, but that request was met with hostility. They bowed in traditional Muslim prayer before making their proposal asking Broward County schools to close on 2 of Islam's high holy days.
It's not about gaining a religious holiday in any means whatsoever. It is about inclusivity, equality, and diversity.
The suggestion spawned a deep religious divide, a heated response.
That the group promoting and asking for this is associated with terrorism. It's not about sensitivity and respect. This is about care, going about its everyday business of cultural jihad. This is about jihad.
Roger.
Jihad, stealth jihad.
Powerful phrases sensitive enough to cause recoil and trigger tears. Muslims making the request for 2 days off, backed by the Council on American Islamic Relations, made the argument of impact.
The Broward County Muslim population, as of 2011, is 47,765. The student population in Broward County is 17,721.
Christians don't have their highest holidays celebrated in name. No Christmas holiday, no Easter holiday. It's winter and spring breaks.
Our school board and our students have enough challenges to face without adding 2 additional days when our children will be out of the classrooms. But do not lose sight of their end game. First, it's a seemingly innocent request to recognize a holiday or two. The camel's nose is pushed further into the tent when you will be asked to have schoolgirls in Broward voluntarily wear the hijab, the veil which covers the head and neck, so as not to insult the Muslim boys. And then it will become mandatory, and you will have a camel living with you in your home. And
trapped between a debate centuries old over spiritual beliefs, the Broward County Schools Diversity Committee stuck with the scheduling dilemma on whether to recommend 2 additional days off.
To change the language to vacation calendar and take the celebration out of it.
Well, there was not a conclusion drawn in the meeting last night, and the Diversity Committee will now meet with the Calendar Planning Committee to decide where to go from here. Reporting live this morning from the Broward County School Board, Adriana Hopkins today in Florida.
Well, good job.
Yeah, very
awesome.
Yes,
oh
yes.
my gosh.
We educated
What do you think about that, Ruth?
Now, 2 years ago, this would have been, this would have flown right through. I mean, I know 2 years ago this would have flown right through.
Well, I think 5 years ago I was protesting outside the school board when they were trying to put a Hamas supporter on, a known Hamas supporter on the diversity committee, the same committee that these guys just went in front of last night.
Well, we got
and we got that
is
defeated
Ruth still with
too.
us?
I'm still with you. It seems like a very, very unbiased report. It seemed quite good.
Yeah, that was unbiased. I think the news article that went with it was a little different, but we won't get into that. We only got a couple of minutes left. For the audience, for the viewers and listeners, the big picture is all of our work, national security, the Muslim Brotherhood behind it, CARE, the group that's behind this, is a Muslim Brotherhood organization that's implementing a civilization jihad. That means a holy war against a civilization to change it. These are the little battles that are essential in changing a culture. And it took place in Broward, and man, everybody got together. And
it's a moment's notice.
It's not
too.
over, though.
No, it's not over.
All they did was postpone it because these guys are going, what's going on here? So I think we're going to have to mount a... you were on the air with Steve Kane today, weren't you?
Yeah, I was on the...
We got about a minute. Tell us what happened there.
Yeah, no, it was really good. It's just he brought up a very salient point, which is said they're going to try to sneak it back in. They're going to try to pull some fast one. They're going to try to. You got to watch the calendar out there, and they're just going to do something really, really.
So you
slick.
called, and what did Steve say to you?
Yeah, that's what he said to me. He says he was talking about this. Is you just really have to watch because these guys are just going to, slick this in somehow, just like they do everything else.
Does he want our help or anything?
No, yes, he definitely wants our help.
Okay.
And he wants us to work on a project together, and I said absolutely.
Okay, great. For again, for the listeners and viewers, Steve Kane and Brian Craig are on 6 to 9 every morning. They're the mirror image, the other bookend of us pounding Obama. That's our goal in life right now. And if 100 days, that's all we have. So watch those guys 6 to 9 every morning, WNN 1470, and then we're on 3 to 6. And that'll just make your day so wonderful to have all this stuff, this information, and we'll fight these battles. All right, Ruth, thank you very much. You have any quick closing thoughts? You got about 30 seconds.
Yeah, actually, real quick, Ruth, can I maybe have you check back in the 4 o'clock hour and highlights, give us a quick report on some of the election fraud issues that you're familiar with, so I could, before I introduce one of the fired poll workers from Broward County as well.
Right. Okay, I'll try to do that.
All right, thanks.
All right,
thanks Ruthie.
Okay.
Take care.
Okay.
That was Ruth Roman, who does a lot of work with us, Trento Vision, with the United West, and she's worked for the federal government in the Justice Department, and now doing investigative reporting, doing wonderful stuff. So we get reports from her every week on Activist Friday. We got a full house in here. We need some food or some wine and cheese.
We have
something.
some snacks.
Oh, we got
during
little
the
snacks
break.
over there.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we are going to take a break.
We do have a new law, though.
The what?
We do have a new law.
What's that?
People who come in here, are required to bring, buy the rest of the stuff.
They buy us. Yeah, the guests buy us lunch and dinner and everything right afterwards. That guy's over there. Okay, well, we're going to get out of here right now. Look, we are going to be back right a couple of minutes after the top of the hour. Tom Trento with the team here Friday on the 2nd of November. 99 hours. 99
Freaky
hours.
Friday. It's
till
Freaky
Western
Friday.
civilization ends.
99 hours.